Hello and welcome back. Today, I printed a phone holder with a GoPro mount so that I could run a speedometer app on my phone, and I hooked the phone to my scooter. The miles per hour on the factory Speedo is small and hard to read, and the app stands out and is easier to read, especially on camera. Now I found this mount, and it's a good mount, so I'll leave a link in the description, but I don't think the designer had intended for it to be hooked to a scooter that's constantly vibrating and hitting bumps on the road. But if you're looking for something to mount on a tripod or something a lot less bumpy, this is a pretty good mount for that. After searching through Thingiverse, I couldn't find anything I thought would work well for what I needed, so I decided to make my own. So let's jump into Tinkercad and see what I came up with. Alright, so we're in Tinkercad and I've taken the measurements of my phone. They are 81 by 14 by 80, the 80 millimeters being halfway up the phone lengthwise, which I think should be a good enough depth of a pocket to hold it. So let's make our first box those dimensions. We're going to turn this box into a hole and make a copy of it and turn that back into a solid. Now with this case or pocket, I want it to be 3 millimeters thick all the way around. That seems like it would be a good strong case. So I'm going to add 6 millimeters to all my phone dimensions. Then we're going to drag the box with our phone dimensions over and align it to the center of our case box. Stretch it a little bit so it's easier to grab and raise it up 3 millimeters, giving the bottom a 3 millimeter thickness as well. Then we're going to group those and you'll see we have a pocket that our phone should slide right in if we printed it like this. But that's not exactly what we want. We want to be able to see our phone's screen, so we're going to have to cut the face out. And I know that I can have 8 millimeters overhang on either side and at least 10 millimeters at the bottom, and my screen won't be covered. But that will make lips on all 3 of those sides to hold the phone in from just falling right out. So we're gonna grab another box and make it 16 millimeters shorter than our case box and align it to the center of our case. Then raise it up by 10 millimeters. And for those who don't know, you could easily just click over here and type 10 in this box that appears when you are moving items. You'll have an up and down and left and right adjustment depending on which way you're moving. But if you're manually moving, it's a good way to see how far you've moved in either direction. Okay, now we're going to stretch this box all the way up past the top of our case. Now we'll group those and you should see all the lips I was talking about. 8 millimeters on the sides and 10 millimeters on the bottom. These are what will hold our phone in place, but still allowing us to see the screen. Now that last phone holder I showed you on Thingiverse is about to come in real handy. So let's import it into Tinkercad. Alright, the only thing we actually want off of this is the GoPro mounting parts. So we're going to grab a couple boxes and cut out everything we don't want. And now that we're left with that, we're going to bring it over to our case and align it to the bottom center. And once we're happy with the placement, we'll go ahead and group those. Now in Tinkercad, you'll see these lines sometimes, but they won't transfer over to the actual print. Alright, so having printed the mount from the beginning of this video, I already know these mounting holes are too small. So before I go to print this, I just want to grab a cylinder, give it a 6 millimeter diameter, and widen those holes a little bit. If you're finding you're having problems aligning things like this, just go down to your snap grid and either turn it off completely, or sometimes putting it on 0.1 millimeter helps with aligning. Once we're happy with our alignment there, we'll group it all. Okay, now this would work as it is just fine, but I want to give it a little style. Nothing crazy, just giving it a less squared look, I guess. So we're going to grab the round roof shape, flip it over, bring it up, turn it into a hole, and stretch it out over the case. And once we're happy with placement, we'll group these together. Alright, that's looking pretty good. It's not a lot, but it makes it a little more sleek looking rather than just being boxy. Okay, so let's export this and bring it over to Cura and get it ready for printing. Alright, so in Cura, I'm using the standard low quality profile, and I have supports on to keep the GoPro mounting holes nice and circular. Now you'll see with the standard support structure, it puts supports between these brackets. And while they can be removed after printing, it's a bit of a pain, so I don't want those there. I'm gonna grab a support blocker and size it up to where that bit in the center of those brackets won't print, but the holes will still have supports. It's a little tricky, so you might need to fiddle with it. Once that's done, let's print it out. Okay, here it is. Now you might notice it looks a little bit different. I decided after filming that it really didn't need the bottom 10mm lip, so I just backtracked to that box and moved it up 3mm instead of 10 so that it would be even with the bottom of the case. Alright, so it all looks good. Let's pop those supports out of there and get it mounted on the scooter and see how well it holds on. Hello, birdie. I love this road. There's never any cars on it. Of course I am. Oh, yep, there's the true test. The phone stayed. So I don't know how good of a signal I'm getting. Alright, as you can see from the video, it's kind of mounted in a weird way. I did forget my GoPro mounts this day to switch it up. I wanted it to be vertical and not kind of diagonal horizontal or whatever it is. At any rate, it works well. Though I have made a few iterations. As you'll see, I'll put them on the screen right now. And I will upload those to Thingiverse. But as it is, it works pretty well, and it's been over a week, I'd say closer to 2 weeks now since I printed this, and yeah, I use it all the time. You'll see it if you are subscribed to my other channel. You'll start to see it more in other videos, and eventually I will get it mounted more vertical because at this horizontal-ish angle, when it vibrates, it kind of wiggles the phone loose. It hasn't fallen. I have to, every once in a while, just kind of knock the phone back down in there. If you want to see more scooter videos and things like that, consider checking out my second channel that I run with a friend. We do a lot more than just work on scooters, so maybe you'll find something that you like. And with that, I want to thank you for tuning in. Links will be in the description. Catch you in the next one, and as always, have the best day ever. Flip a bitch.